Good evening, everybody. Lee Judges TV here. Now, listen, I'm going to go for as long as I can. I'm in absolute agony with my ribs. And if you think I'm not making it up because I'm disappointed about what happened today, Dave's got a little video for you to show. So this is the tackle which has put me in bits today. I don't know if you can see all of that. There you go, like, you know, when I've done my ribs in. But yeah, so let's talk about it. It's not been a great day. I personally think that the title was over a couple of hours before, when Manchester City put that performance in against Everton. Realistically, basically steamrolled them, and I think the hope was gone. And I think it affected the players today. I don't think today's performance necessarily cost us the title. But if you look on it, and let's be really honest, like people are saying Arsenal bottled it and everything like that. And I can see why they're saying that. But our form coming in from the international break, or sorry, from after the international break, has just been appalling. Like it was last season. Exactly the same thing happened last season. Wheels fell apart, and it's fallen apart again. Similarities, injuries to key players has cost us again, like it did last time. Yeah, I think that you'd have to look at it and go that you need to have a little bit of luck in football. We didn't get the luck there, but we certainly. In the last sort of month since April, we haven't really deserved to be champions. If I'll be really honest, you know, let's look at those performances now. The Liverpool game, I think it all started there. I think if we'd have won that game, which I think when you're 2-0 up, and if you have a look back on it, the last minute we had a good chance to go 3-2 up. Listen, Ramsdale made fantastic saves in that game. But if we'd have come away with a win at Anfield that day, I think that would have given us the confidence to go on and win that game, win the league. I think it knocks us a little bit, that confidence. And then you know, the West Ham games and all that. Like, but I believe that this has been an ongoing problem with Arsenal. My thoughts are that we have been conceding goals from day one. At home, from the first game to now, always conceding goals, and that is my problem with Mikel. If I've got one problem that I think that I've got with him as a manager at this moment in time, I think he's done fantastically well this season. Let's get that out of the way first and foremost. But what he hasn't done is addressed the leaky defence. It's been continually breaching goals all season. 3 again today against Brighton. 3 against Manchester City, 3 against Southampton, 2 against Bournemouth. You know, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And he has done nothing to address it. Now, personnel changes, he's done that, but that hasn't done anything there. He needed to change it with personnel in the midfield or something, or tactics or something like that. Change it. Never done it. And we've been undone from it all. People used to say to me, "Well, Zinchenko going in there, that's not helped and contributed. That's why we're open." But you know, we've conceded 3 goals today, and when we play away from home, we're definitely more compact. And I think that that's something that I do feel has been a mistake with Mikel Arteta. I think that he's been very, very good this season. But there has been mistakes made. Injuries, I do think, have played a part. I don't care what anybody says. You know, I look at Manchester City. Their players, their key players, stay fit. Our key players are getting injured. You know, Saliba. You know, Martinelli today was a massive loss. You know, and another thing that I will say about Mikel, and I'm not going to give him a free ride and a free pass like everybody else is doing. You know, he's been quick enough to leave out Martinelli on 3 or 4 occasions this season, not Saka. Saka, who I think has been fantastic this season, is burnt out. You can see that today. It's just not quite the same standards that he was up until that international break, being played in every international that England have played in as well. It's been a very, very long, hard season. But then I'm going to go on to the other thing. Well, yeah, it has been a long, hard season, but we've had no FA Cup because we didn't really participate in that. We certainly didn't participate in the Carabao Cup. And, you know, we made lots of changes in the Europa League. Can't do that next season. Got to play strong side week in, week out. And that is something that has got to be done and done. And if he's not performing the likes of Saka or whoever it may be, then they can be left out and bring in somebody else. Maybe that's why Saka's being played, because there's no one else to play that role. Again, I felt it was a mistake today. Trossard coming on was poor, trying to do too much, maybe against his old side. On the last two times that substitutes come on, Nelson came on against Manchester City, performed, looked like a player. And again, I thought he'd done really, really well today. So realistically, not enough for me. What can I say really about, you know, like today, never looked like scoring, no change of play, you know, same players going in and players coming out, you know, Odegaard coming off, Smith Rowe coming on, you know, like for like substitutions, Eddie for Jesus. Well, why not put Eddie on and Jesus? We needed a goal, you know, we still conceded 3 anyway, like, you know. You know, it's one of those things. You know, all these players have done really well for us this season. But in my belief, I think we've got a squad of about 12 to 15 that can challenge for the title. The rest of those players are top 4, chasing top 4 and Europa League. And that has been the trouble. Nothing against the likes of it. Eddie's done fantastically well for us. You know, could we probably put Nelson in that race? Is he good enough to challenge for a title? Trossard, is he good enough to challenge for a title? Definitely good enough to challenge for a top 4. But listen, we've competed with an unbelievable side that's got what they have got over us is a strong squad. And we haven't got that. That's something that Arteta and Edu have got to address. They've got to make sure that they address that side of the game now. We've got to be bigger. And I will say this, you know, I expect Arsenal to be spending big, because as every season ticket holder watching this or is in the chat and whatever will know, that because we got Champions League football, it's come at a price for our season tickets. We're having to pay a lot more money this season than we have done over the last few years, and quite rightly so, because we're in the Champions League now. So, you know, season ticket prices go up. So with that, my expectations will go up. Next season, I won't be saying if we go out the FA Cup by playing a weakened side, oh, that's all right because we're going for the title and things like that. I'm not going to be accepting that no more. Won't be throwing away any cup competitions next season, Champions League or the Premier League or the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. I expect Arsenal to be going deep in every single one of them. Why? Because I expect us to have a squad strong enough to compete with all of that. If that doesn't happen, that's on the manager and that is on the board as well. Let's get that right. We wasn't in the beginning of this season challenging or thinking that we'd be challenging for the title. It was the top 4. In the end, we've challenged for the title, and let's be honest, it's been a disappointing end to the title. Basically because we haven't got a strong enough squad. I don't think that Mikel can do the substitutions that he needs to do because he hasn't got the personnel and the players. I'm fed up with that excuse after this season. That is gone. Don't want that as an excuse no more. Don't want people coming into my chat and things like this and saying, oh, well, we haven't got this and we haven't got that. All those excuses now are done. We've had a fantastic season. Let's be proud of it. Let's be happy about what we've done as far as improvement is concerned. But let's not say, right, that's it. We're there. It's now where it begins. We've challenged for the title. And let's be honest, it's been a bloody good feeling challenging for the title. I've really enjoyed it, games of grounds and challenging for the title. So we've done fantastically well to do that. But now, us as fans have got to change our philosophy now, change our requirements, change our ambitions. Our ambitions now are to see, right, can we push on now? I don't want to see Manchester United coming above us next season. I don't want to see Chelsea coming above us next season. I don't want to see Liverpool coming above us. You know what I mean? I want to see us challenging Manchester City for the next 2, 3, 4 years. That is the aim of Arsenal Football Club now. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to win and beat this unbelievable machine, but I want us challenging for it, pushing just in case that they do mess up. I think they're going to go on and win the treble, which is an unbelievable thing for them to do. You know, when you have to tip your hat off to them and say that that's been fantastic if they go and do that. But we've pushed them. We've pushed them. Now, when your Spurs mates and your Man United mates and everybody, Liverpool mates all say, oh, you bottled it and taken the mickey and everything like that. Well, at least we've been in it and we've had a go at it. I never felt that Liverpool have bottled anything over the last few years. I've just been more jealous about it. And the reason everybody's having a go at the Arsenal now is because they're jealous it's not them challenging the mighty Manchester City at the moment. It's us. And that's what we've got to do. And that's how we go from it there, like, you know. Listen, it's not a time to be looking at players who's going to be coming and going. I think the club have got to make some ruthless decisions in the summer on certain players. And we've got to, I think, bring in 100 million, roughly, from sales of players and squad players in this team. So I think at the end of it, it's going to be a real difficult job for the summer. We've got to do that, like, you know. Yeah, listen, I don't think it is a massive bottle job. I really don't. Like, I think that we've capitulated at the end. And I'll be really honest, you know, if the result at Liverpool and the way things are going with Manchester City were never going to lose a game. So we could have drawn at Manchester City, drawn at Liverpool, beaten West Ham, beaten Southampton, lost to Manchester City, and we still wouldn't have won this league because I don't think that they're going to slip up any time soon. Yes, we didn't. We capitulated under the pressure. Yes, we did. But we have to look at it and be realistic. This is a team that is putting on the pressure. They've drawn one game since they dropped points against Nottingham Forest. And that was in the Champions League. They're win. And they have put the pressure on. They put the squeeze on. And yeah, we've capitulated because of that. That's more to do with them than us. You know, they have put it on us and we couldn't cope with it at this moment in time. So, listen, we've bottled it. Yeah, if we want to say that, then fair enough, like, you know, but we was in a position to bottle it. Other teams never even got into that position. So I look at it and I just think that at the end of the day, the players are not quite good enough, not ready yet. Certainly some of them I don't think will ever be ready. Let's be really honest with that. I don't think some of them will ever be ready. But at the end of it, there are some very, very good youngsters that can go on and get done. Now, Arsenal in the summer have got to get Saliba sorted out, Saka sorted out, they've got Martinelli sorted out, and then we go again. And we need to bring in some top players. I watched a player today at Brighton in Casido. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Love and behold, he played at right back today. So if you can get someone like him for 70, 75 million, you know that he can play right back and central midfield and do a fantastic job in either position. You've got to play it. It's a bargain. I expect Arsenal to be going in for him. Whether they get him or not, I don't know. Same with Declan Rice. Declan Rice is available, not at the price of £120 million. I don't think that, you know, no player's worth that on the last year of their contract. So at the end of it, we'll have to see what happens there. But we need to improve that midfield and get that sorted. Listen, it's disappointing. It's a disappointing end to the season. We pushed. And at the end of the day, we produced some fantastic results. But what the thing is now to do for us fans and for the team and the manager, dust ourselves down, be proud of what we've done, but not be satisfied with it. And we go again next season. And that's going to be difficult, but that is what we've got to do. I never
Okay.
ever thought we wouldn't, but at the end of it, we've had a little dabble now of what it's like. We move to next season. Dave, what's the questions?
Okay.
Okay,
we got 20 questions to be answered for obviously yourself, Lee, during this Q&A. First one is from PW. Why is obviously today's loss shocking? Too many games. We just got 3 points in the last minutes. Too many fans overhype the team's performance. Too many praise to Arteta. Second is great with his squad and manager, though.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a good point. You know, the reason that we've been chasing games is because we've defensively not been good enough at home. Put it down. I said that earlier on. And, you know, listen, it's always nice to celebrate last-minute wins and things like that. It's fantastic. But, you know, we've not been in control of games. You look at Manchester City, they're in control of their games, not giving away silly goals and things like that. And that's the difference. You know, we've been fortunate at times, but we've been chasing games and got away with it. But eventually it comes up and takes its toll.
Good stuff. Next question is from Nobby Plies, and he says, good evening, Lee. Good evening. This guy. Very disappointing as a fan. Do you think we will win the title in the next 5 years with this manager?
That's a good question. I think we've got a good chance. I you know, just speaking and listening in my group chat with all my Arsenal fans, you know, people are questioning that, you know, didn't sort of capitulated last season for top four, capitulated again this time around. So that needs to be learned. I think if Arteta is in the same position next season, he don't do it, I think then there could be a little change of stance over him and all that. But at this moment in time, he's in my eyes, is putting enough credit to give him the chance. I didn't see Arsenal challenging for the title this season, so you know, I feel that under Edu and Mikel, we've definitely got a chance of winning it. Whether we will or not, you know, because you don't know what's going to happen with Man City. They're an animal that is going to be hard to tame.
Okay. Next one is a super chat from Ricky. Lee, has Arteta fixed the mentality problem? Yes, we've gone from 5th to 2nd, but the mentality of performing in clutch is still a question mark.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we've got to address now. I think that we've, when the pressure's on, we've got to be able to perform, and that's difficult. You know, it is very, very difficult. It's not easy, but I still don't think he's got the personnel that he needs. I think we need to, you know, I think see what happens in the summer and see what happens there. But as I said, there's no excuses no more after next season.
Okay. Dan, we've got the next one. Are we closer to the 3rd place team or 1st place team? He thinks the 3rd place team, which is Newcastle.
Yeah, I would say that probably are. You know what I mean? Like, I think Manchester City flexed their muscles and we couldn't handle it. Like, you know, if you look at all the other teams in and around it, we're the best of that bunch. But it's not where I think Manchester City are far away. And listen, if Arsenal weren't in the league this season, Manchester City would have won it by a canter. If Manchester City weren't in the league, we'd have won it by a canter. So there's a gap. We've got to make sure that we bridge that gap between Manchester City and not worry about the other teams. That's what we've got to aim for. I don't want to be aiming to get above Manchester United and Newcastle next season. I want to be aiming for Manchester City. That's the target. Manchester City are the target.
Okay. Harry, quick one. He says, if we don't invest heavily in the summer, do you think we have to question the owners, Lee?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
100%. Nice. As I said earlier on, you know what I mean? Every Arsenal fan that buys a season ticket next season is having their it's been increased because it's Champions League football. So I expect, and I do that, I do expect money to be spent in the summer. Big money.
I think you mentioned this on your aftv fan cam, but do you think City getting the result at Everton affected the players' mindset?
Yeah, I do think that, you know, it did. It was a real statement win, and it was a statement win where I think, like, where you're going to drop points from now, and they're not going to, are they? So I do think it had a part to play. Also, let's give Brighton credit. They were very, very good, very good team, and their manager outfought us, out tactic Mikel all the way.
Next one we have is from Miles. Actually, a good question. It says, why is Saka undroppable? Nelson was our best player when he came on today.
Yeah, I thought Nelson done really, really well. I don't know why Saka's not undroppable. The last time we dropped him or left him out, rested him, was against Leeds. We won 4-1. Played really, really well. I'm not criticising Saka by any shape or form, but at the end of the day, there's other players that have not played particularly well and have been left out. And you know, I don't think he's been awful, but he's not. He's just dropped to the level that he was earlier on in the season, by the way, which was a fantastic level. But with the poor performances, and certainly after the international break, he hasn't come back the same player.
Ronnie says, I'm fully hurt with that performance. We have definitely bottled this league, thrown away cups, being 6 points behind after being 8 points in front in January. Is a bottle. That's a bottle job. That's what he thinks.
Yeah, it don't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Next one we have is from Luzma. Why do you think Arteta removed the midfield? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why do you think he removed the midfield today? What substitutions are you talking about?
Yeah, he tried to change things like for like, and it didn't work. Everything he done today didn't work. Simple as that. Got everything wrong.
This is a good question from DK. Did we miss Zinchenko today? He fought Kieran Tierney when he was pawn.
Yes, we certainly did miss Zinchenko today because we didn't score, didn't open them up a lot, didn't get the midfield domination, and still conceded 3 goals.
CS, do you think Everton's Onana and Southampton's Lavia could be acquired for a less price than Rice? Obviously, we're talking about Declan Rice. So,
listen, we need to bring in world-class players, guys. Not players that are the same ilk as what we've got now. We've got to go up a level, and it's going to cost money. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to get bargains, world-class players for bargain prices. You're going to have to do it, and it's as simple as that, like, you know. And if they don't, then we'll be in the same position as we are this season. Like, you know, we need upgrades on players, which is difficult when you look at it. What sort of season we've had, we need to upgrade. So it's going to be difficult, but that's the job now. That is a job.
Next one, I think you've pretty much already covered. Do you think overperforming win you the league? He says, this season we are overperforming and we need to raise our level and we need at least 5 top players to do so. Well, you just pretty much said that anyway.
Yeah, we need 5. Well, I would say 5 players would be about right. Yeah.
Lee, do you think ultimately we just ran out of steam now? Maybe the Everton result had an effect, obviously addressed as well. Did you feel the atmosphere of the fans felt that today?
I felt everything was a little bit down today. Like, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. I do think that we've just gone over. You know, the squad's lack of depth took its toll. Ben White, who I thought had a fantastic 7 months, is tired and doesn't look the same defender that he was at the beginning of the season, or you know, until the international break. Probably Zinchenko's just dropped off form as well. Saka, as we said. Martinelli come back after a little bit of a drop off, like, you know. Partey has been absolutely woeful since coming back from international duty. So there's definitely been that.
Obviously, Valeria, we covered that question. Another one from Miles. Should Caicedo be the number 1 target this summer?
100%. That's the one I go for. You know, we nearly got him in January. Apparently, let's make sure we get him in the summer.
Next one. Let me see this one. Why Arsenal fans easy to call out other teams' bowlers when they do in fact bowl it, but when the proof is in the pudding, you don't. Keep it real respectfully. Otherwise, okay, we'll skip that one and we'll go for the next one. Andrew Trossard should not have been dropped after winning Player of the Month. My opinion.
Yeah, that was a contentious decision because he was playing really, really well, and Jesus was fit again, wasn't it? Like, you know, so what do you think that they could have done with that? I think they could have maybe just swapped it over a little bit more with the wider players, but he chose to go Jesus, and you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? It's a mistake.
Final few. Lee, that's actually a good question. Lee, what's your opinion on Xhaka wanting to leave with the rumours of midfielders coming in and some fans not wanting to leave?
Listen, Xhaka's been fantastic for us, but he's coming to the end of his career. Got to be ruthless. I think that if he signed for a year's extension, I'd keep him there. But at the end of it, you know, we need to improve in that area, and I think that Granit probably knows that. But I think he's been fantastic this season, absolutely fantastic. But it's not been enough for us to win the league. So, you know, sometimes you have to be ruthless. But for me, I'd definitely keep him. But he wouldn't be the main guy in that midfield. I think, you know, for me, how I would look at it, the midfield next season, if I had my way, would be Casido and Rice, with Odegaard backing that up, Partey and Xhaka. That would be my midfield.
Okay. Last one is just a super chat from 40 Side. Thank you for 40 Side for sending the super chat. Lee, do you think we have too many players that only play well when the entire team is on it? Martinelli seems to be able to do something out of nothing. Saka early in the season, but who else? Yeah,
it's a good question. A great point as well. I think that the way we play, everybody's got to be on, because we're so precise with our passing and things like that. Everybody's got to be on point. Now, if sometimes you've got that big centre forward, you don't have to be actually on point at times. So if you're not playing quite as well as you would be in a game, you could just put it forward and just put it in the mixer a little bit, like, you know. We haven't got that option, and that causes us a few problems. Manchester City, don't forget, are 4 or 5 years in front of us on that. They haven't got that. They keep doing that same sort of thing. But in fairness to them, it wasn't working for them. And as far as Champions League was concerned, and they've gone out and bought Haaland now. They've just changed it up a little bit, and they look a lot better because of it. So, you know, their second goal today comes from a cross and a header. We haven't got that option.
And just to end on a high note, who will Dave be supporting next season when Arsenal play Real Madrid? And I will be supporting Real Madrid. Just to let you know. But Lee, obviously, Lee needs to rest. His ribs are not in the best condition. So I'm going to leave you, Lee, with a final thought, and then we'll end the stream. So what's your final thoughts on Arsenal?
Yeah, look, listen, my final thought is we've had a good season. It's not been a great season because we haven't won the league. So at the end of it, it's been disappointing from that point of view. But also there's been some good things along the way. So hopefully we can address those points in the summer and be pushing for it again this season. But I will say this, it's been an absolute belter of a season for us challenging for the title. I never see it happening. We've challenged for the title, and sometimes along the line, you have to say, that's what I've always said, you know, is that we've got to be challenging for the title. And we've challenged it this season. Let's be hopefully now challenging for the next few seasons, and let's hope next season we can go one further.